we all can choose to engage in our health and our wellness and to take it to that change in a way. I want you to ask yourself some difficult, direct questions. Am I social enough? Am I seeing my friends enough? What if something goes bump in the night? Am I actually doing intentional exercise? Am I watching too much TV? Am I scrolling too much TikTok? Right? All these things make up the mosaic of wellness here at Sterling. And we're very proud of our wellness program here and with our partners. And that's what we want to make sure we show to y'all today and empower you with some knowledge. Some key takeaways as you're looking at this wonderful stage of life and what you can be doing to best prepare for it.
All of us, right, have some sort of vision at times of how we wanted to spend our older years or our golden years, right? And I think when we look at success of that, it probably hinges on some degree of how, we felt like we were able to accomplish those things, right? I mean, for most of us, I think, we think about health, being able to avoid significant, severe disease and disability, to be able to continue to function at a high physical and cognitive level so that we can perform our activities of daily living and our social activities at a high level of independence.
I think it's being able to continue to do the things that you want to do as you age. Now I know you've invested so much during your life to get to a point in retirement. You're coming in 65, you're retiring. It's a time to invest in your health after you retire. And investing in your health will allow you to do those things that you enjoy doing. So when I'm looking at successful aging, I'm breaking it down into numerous factors that all kind of interrelate to allow you to successfully age. So what I want to do, I want you to imagine 3 circles. So if you could imagine 3 circles, and in each of those circles, right, you've got one circle which is your biological well-being. You've got the other circle, you've got your social well-being, and in that other circle then you've got your psychological well-being. Now all those circles, they're interrelated and they intersect, and right in the middle you've got your successful aging. And now I want you to imagine another circle that kind of engulfs all of those circles. You've got your environment, which I think is a really, really important factor to facilitating you successfully age. So like I'm saying, all those different circles that I'm talking about, they all interrelate to meet at that point in the middle where you can successfully age.
I just cannot tell you enough about successful aging in the sense of nobody does wellness like Sterling. I've been in this field for 15 years, and there's a lot of senior living communities out there, and the big difference is when you go into senior livings and they market wellness, who's leading their wellness programs? Sterling Estates is one of the only places in the country, that employs exercise physiologists and therapists. If you go to other places, it's activity directors leading exercise programs. Activities directors are needed for engagement, but you need specialists, exercise physiologists, to deal with the dynamic and the comorbidities of aging. And successful aging to me is, one, having a purpose. Sterling gives you that, right? In the sense of you go to those wellness programs, but it's so much bigger than that. Secondly, successful aging to me is quality of life, right? Sometimes I think we all get so caught up on falls in the physical that we don't necessarily look at what is the quality of life. No matter what your diagnosis, no matter how old you are, you can still do things. And I think when people live with purpose, when they have a quality of life and they're exercising and having fun, that is successful aging.
So it's a process of redefining your life. I think that's what aging is. From a health care standpoint, and obviously that's the most important thing, is maintaining your health. Through ability to visit doctors, through ability to do physical training as we do at Sterling. And the other part of it is socialization, spending time with people that you're comfortable with, people who are in the same stage of life that you are. It is really, really important and very satisfying. Sterling does that extremely well. We've lived at Sterling for 5 years, and after the initial getting used to it, we really enjoy it.
So anytime we have a resident start a fitness program, a wellness program at our community, we have a two-part onboarding, essentially, where we start with an orientation process where we go through your health history, any relevant information we need to know about, like chronic illness, injuries, what are our limitations, and then more importantly, what are our goals. Whatever your concerns are, that's where we start. After we've got the orientation finished, we go into an assessment where we give you some standardized, data-based fitness assessments where we take you through specific exercises to get an idea of what we're starting with. Once we've started working with you one-on-one or in a group setting, whichever, we start to get to know you much more personally. We start with where your concerns are, and then as we work with you, we might be able to see where we think we can work as well. Maybe there's something that you're not aware of that working one-on-one with a member of the training team, we might be able to find something there that we can start to work on and improve in a way that you didn't think was possible before.
When we first built our assisted living community in Fayetteville, Georgia in 2000, there was this idea that we wanted to include a saltwater therapy pool. And everyone looked at us like we were crazy. You're going to be filling that full of concrete in just a year. 98 when we first broke ground there. And they stuck to their guns. And we now have the saltwater pool in East Cobb and West Cobb.
So I've been in a lot of pools in Atlanta, and I got to say, my two favorite pools in Atlanta are at Sterling, East and West Cobb. They're well maintained, they're saltwater, they are a beautiful 92 degrees. So as you walk in there and your pains and aches just literally melt away. Stress on the body can play a lot of parts. And as we age or things change, that becomes even harder. So you think about just the ability to standing in the water. First of all, water has pressure. So wherever you're standing, the water is pushing against the body. So that's going to help circulation into the body, into the brain. If you're standing in water, just even up to about your waist level, you're taking about 50% of your body weight off your body. And if you get a little deeper up to your chest level, now we're talking about 75% of your body weight is alleviated off those joints. Can do tremendous things. You get someone that might be able to not exercise at all or walk, but we can get them in the water, and for an hour, we're exercising. We're moving the body in multiple ways. So that's such a good benefit for a lot of people that just can't tolerate different environments. And then you throw in another aspect, which is balance and coordination. And you can't really fall and hurt yourself. So we can put you through a little bit of a regimen where you're challenging yourself in different ways, kind of gain that confidence and that mobility.
It's very real, very real. I love Sterling, just absolutely love it. I feel very safe and very cared for. I think that's probably the most that I can say is I feel very cared for at Sterling in every way, shape, and form. Personally, what I do at Sterling, I do a lot of the classes. I go to yoga class. Jason teaches our yoga class. He's wonderful. We do that 3 times a week. 4 times a week, as someone mentioned, we have outside teachers, 2 outside teachers that come in and teach us, and they're both very, very good. And we certainly tell them all about our aches and pains so that they are aware and they're very careful to coach us in that. And that 4 times a week for me keeps me going. I have issues with my spine, and it certainly keeps me going.
Now, Harry, you've thrown it to you to share your experience here at Sterling and what aging successfully means to you.
Well, my wife Joan and I are relative newcomers to the senior living community. So 2 years ago, if you'd asked me what successful aging is, I would have said, well, it's mostly about genetics and maybe a whole lot of good fortune. Well, now after almost a year and a half at Sterling, I think a good bit differently about that. Being in an environment that's specifically designed to promote successful aging, I've learned a lot. Being proactive and committed and totally involved in your personal wellness and community living is really huge in keeping things on the plus side. In terms of how my well-being is impacted at Sterling, it happens every day. from the time I get up until the time I go to bed. But at any rate, if I was going to mention one thing that I think had a huge impact on both Joan and I, shortly after we got there, we discovered this very large number of independent residents who were well into their 90s. And, you know, they were so extremely fit physically and mentally and socially. And we just kind of fell in love with them first. But then we said, we're going to have what they're having. And, and so we did. And they inspired us to do the things that we're doing now. You know, if they can do it, we certainly can do it. And so we also continue to see them as true examples of what successful aging means.